I know you're probably
I love this.
family
I love this league.
feud for you.
No, yeah, I'm not allowed at Christmas anymore now that
Okay.
I've become a
Okay.
Badger fan. Okay, being that you guys have won the last 3 games, do you think Marquette's going to come in career this
I don't
year?
think it matters.
No.
I don't think it matters. I mean, we don't make any conversation about it. It's obviously a great rivalry. It's great for the state of Wisconsin. You got 2 really good teams, 2 ranked teams. I think it's just awesome for the state. You got 2 in-state coaches that were born and raised here. I think it's just awesome for the game of basketball in the state of Wisconsin, and it allows us and them to be on a platform nationally for just spotlighting basketball in Wisconsin. So, like I said, two really good teams that are both playing really well, and 2 different type of teams. But it's a big game for them. It's a big game for us because it's both of our next game, and we'll move on to other fish to fry, and so will they. So, but yeah, they're always juiced up just like we are. It's a big game for us, and it's obviously an important game for them too.
What do you like that Iowa State did against them?
I haven't watched that one yet,
Yeah.
so I've been studying us from the other night and trying to help us get better. And then I went back earlier, so I'll get to that over the next 24 hours or so, 30 hours. I'll be diving into that. We're different than Iowa State. We're not built
Right.
like them. We don't play like them, but obviously they must have done a really good job because they beat a good team.
As far as looking back at the Michigan game, I won't say any surprises, but what else beyond the initial impressions that was it as good or bad as what?
Yeah, the highest percentage of non-rim 2s we've taken all year, which led to a lot of different things. So that was the biggest takeaway. Some of that was Michigan's defense. Some of that was our inappropriate spacing at times, but that was probably the number one thing. And there were other things, but we've really tried to emphasize rim 2s, free throws, and 3s, and we took the bait, so to speak. We settled for a lot of non-rim 2s, which over the course of 40 minutes, over the course of 35 game season, that's not analytically where you want to live. And so that was we'll be better because of it, because now we've seen it on film. And not that we haven't taken them before, but it's the most we have taken, and obviously the result causes a sting a little bit longer.
But that's it. I mean,
That's not it. It's not it. There were other things, transition defense, we give up 19 points. We didn't do a great job in the middle ball screen with 4-5, and that's a credit to Wolf and Golden playing together. And I thought, Wolf was, his ability to pass and make plays at 7 feet and how they can spread the floor around it, obviously gave us a lot of trouble. But the biggest thing was what we settled for, the shots we settled for.
But in terms of given everything you said, it was still a 1-possession game. Does that, as a coach, there are no moral victories, but does that?
Yeah, there's not any moral victories, but yeah, it's everything that went awry is correctable. That's the important thing, and that was the message with the team. This isn't the first time we've talked about non-rim 2s, and I think we've dove deeper into the analytics of it. Now we're able to show numbers, the math of it, and the actual live footage of it, and I think help our players get better at understanding the importance of why we're trying to do what we're trying to do. So there were some good things. Obviously, they're a good team, and you're not in a 1-possession game, but there were some things defensively, but offensively, you've got to score, more than 0.94 points per possession. And a large part of it was the shot selection we had.
Looking ahead to Marquette, what stands out about Cam Jones? I know you've played him a few years now. And, are there any other players that you
really mature? Really just doesn't get sped up. Doesn't try to go too fast. Doesn't try to go too slow. Just really has a very mature game about him. His assist numbers are through the roof. I think it's 60 to 14. And he's got really good pieces around him. They're able to spread the floor. They're able to drive gaps. Mitchell does a terrific job of cutting off the ball. Gold has helped spread the floor for him. Joplin's helped spread the floor for him. So, and I know Ross and some of the other guard play, have helped him. But he's one of the better point guards in the country, and his numbers show that out. You just watch how he controls the game. he knows when to and he knows when not to, and that comes from obviously being a really good player, but a really experienced player.
Max seems to play really well against Marquette the last 2 years. Is there something to that, and is he due for one of those performances?
Well, I don't know if he's due. I mean, we want him to shoot the ball better, and I don't care who you're playing. You always want that to happen. He's got to keep shooting. That's the way to move out of that. But, I think being an in-state kid, I think he understands the importance of it and knows the history, of it. So I think for him, obviously, any in-state kid, that's important. And just like when we play Minnesota or Michigan for Michigan State for John Blackwell, I think when you have an in-state school, there's a little bit extra there that's with that, and it should mean something. That's important. It's like those trophy games in football that we didn't have good luck with this year. Those games should mean something because they do.
John kind of describes Steve and Max as low maintenance guys. At this point in their careers, when they're going through something offensively, do you bother to go out of your way to try and get them going, or do you kind of leave them alone, knowing eventually they'll come around?
No, I think you show them factual information. I think you can't play psychologist and try to make up fictitious information. Right? You're showing them what the shots they're getting. It's not necessarily even the threes for Max. It's the other shots, the times that he is taking to maybe get a better shot. And for Steve, it just wanted to be more consistently aggressive on both ends of the floor. I want to be more imposing in the paint, defensively, than what he is, and the same thing on the offensive end too. So keep pushing, but I think these are really smart players. You can't BS them, right? You better come with information and with facts and with the data, and then you back it up with film, you're able to show them how they can improve what they're doing.
Coach, I know you mentioned a couple of improvements, and it might be rare to say in the transfer portal. Is this the most confident you felt about the start of a team since you've been the head coach?
Well, I don't like to compare years ever, but this group has the chemistry and how they come together has been impressive. And you always think if you have good chemistry, you need to have had a group together for 3, 4, 5 years. But obviously, in today's world with the portal, you have to fast track that by chop multiple years off that. But I like how they bonded together and how they embrace winning. And I think that's the most important thing. And they're about the right things that they're most concerned with winning. The word fit probably in the coaching world is overused, it's cliche, but it's true. I mean, if they're not the right fit, whether they're a freshman or whether they're a transfer coming in, then it doesn't matter what the stat sheet says that they bring with them, right? If they don't fit well and buy into the team concept of it, you still have to let your individual talent shine. These guys have put team first, and that's what has allowed them to have team success, but also the individual success that comes with it.
So, what do you like about having the early challenges you had a tough 3-game stretch? What does that kind of provide for your team as you kind of maybe get into the
It forces you to get better, just like Michigan did, and just like Arizona did, and Central Florida and Pitt. Those, when you face some adversity and you face tough challenges, the teams play you different ways, and coaches are studying film just like we do, so they're going to try to find ways to attack us. Now we have to, we got to be playing chess while we're playing checkers. We have to improve and tweak some things and get better at different areas. But that's the challenge you go through, and that's the only way to get that out and to push forward is to play really good competition and have some adversity. You don't grow if you have smooth, right? Smooth water doesn't make a skillful sailor, right? You hear that one before? So we've had a little, it's good for some rough water. It's okay. We'll be okay.
If you could point out a few things, like what's it going to take, do you think, on Saturday for your team to come out on top?
Well, I mean, you got to take care of the ball. Obviously, they're leading the nation in steals and turnovers for us, so you got to try to make sure you're getting good shots each time down, not allow them to get in transition because they're really good in it. And obviously, you've got to make shots. That's the obvious. I think they have so many weapons they can come at you with, and they come at you with a thrust, so you have to make sure you're good shots, take care of the ball, get your defense as much as possible, rebounding, not extra possessions, because they're not super big, but they're really active, and they're really aggressive on the glass. So there's nothing probably different than we emphasize any other game, so to speak. But their ability to change defenses, they'll show some pressure, and then it'll go back to a little bit of zone, a little bit of man. They'll trap you in different ways and mix it up. So you have to be really intelligent. Ball toughness is important. You have to be strong with the ball, but making good decisions and trying to get the best shot we can each time down. Hey, Nick.
I'm sorry if you were asked this. I was
Okay, no problem.
in this ever-changing college basketball, college sports as a whole. How meaningful is this game, and why is it so important for it to continue to be played?
Well, it's important regardless of the changing environment and landscape of college athletics, because it's unique that if you look a lot of schools around the country that are in the same state or regionally really close, they're afraid to play each other unless they're forced to by a challenge or by a commissioner in a league or something like that. So for us, both of our programs, to be able to have the success that we've had, and obviously two really good teams this year, it's great for the state of Wisconsin. It puts a spotlight on basketball nationally on Wisconsin for a day. It's great for all the young kids in the state, that not only from a playing standpoint, but they look at two coaches that grew up in Wisconsin. So those that are dreaming of being coaches someday, here's two great examples of it. So I think it's win-win all the way around. We're going to see a really, really good team in a hostile environment. It's great that we continue to play each other, and I know Shaka always wants to play the game. I always want to play the game because it's good for the game. It's bigger than MRI. So from that standpoint, I think it'll help both of us get better as we go through the rest of the year. And of course, it's important, right? It's an in-state game. We're not too far apart from each other. But once Saturday's over, we're going to move on to other things. We got to jump back into league play. They've got other big non-conference games coming up too. So, it's a good barometer, a good testing point for us at this point in time of the year. And it's good, like I said, it's good for our state that we're playing the game. Okay? You bet. No problem.
I'd like to